that we're going to give away a signed jersey in a frame because we can't seem to sell them. So, wait, did anyone win your thing from last?
Nope.
Dennis? No?
Nope.
All right. So
wait,
at the end of this,
we haven't had a tailgate since then.
fair enough. So we're going to do one at the end of this. Well, you remember last episode, he said some numbers, and if someone said it.
Oh, that's right.
I wasn't in Frisco this week. I wasn't in Frisco for the last tailgate, so nobody came up and to mention it to you. They definitely didn't come up.
I'm gonna text you as soon as we're done with this call.
Why? What happened? Did somebody come
to
up
get
with
the money?
Oh my God! Whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna say a number right before the break or right before the end of this episode, and if you see any three of us at Community this weekend, you get a free signed jersey. I'll figure out what that number is later, but yeah,
it'll flash on screen. It'll be right here. Right, you're gonna see it right here. There you go.
Sure, let's go with that.
And we're back. This is Blood, Sweat, and Beers, episode 17. I am your moderator host, Dennis, here with the president of the Dallas Beer Guardians, Marcus, and director at large, Mr. Hubert Tito. Welcome, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Average, I guess.
That's not the kind of energy we want to start this
FC Dallas didn't play, so I don't feel like,
they
garbage.
didn't lose. They didn't lose.
And Trinity unfortunately did lose, but I was just kind of happy to be there. So
yeah, we're gonna be jumping right into Trinity to start today too, since FC Dallas didn't play. So we're gonna shift over to the Gainbridge Super League, that is now known as, and we're gonna talk about Trinity's semifinal loss to Tampa Bay, the relative boogeyman that has pestered the Trinity all season long. And so what we'll do is we'll talk about that a little bit, and then we'll look forward to next season for a few, and then maybe we'll talk FC Dallas at Kansas City. But let's set the stage here. Trinity's inaugural season, the inaugural season of the Gainbridge Super League, ends in a first-round playoff exit in the semifinal.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to make playoffs. We thought this team would, right?
They made the playoffs. I mean, there was a point in the season where we were talking about winning the not the supporter shield, the player shield is what it's called, I believe.
I don't remember what they're even calling it.
Yeah, I believe it's called the player shield. If it's not, somebody correct me, please. We were in competition for hosting playoff games, maybe being the best team in the league, and then the injury bug caught up, and this roster just wasn't deep enough to get where they needed to be, but they showed up in the playoffs, and a disappointing in the way that it just ended, but it was a 2-1 defeat at Tampa Bay, and like I said, Tampa Bay has been our boogeyman all season. But 12-9-7 is the final record of the ladies down at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good record for the league, right? Comparing everybody else's. So
yeah, I mean, it was a good year, all things being considered. I think we were all concerned about the health of the league, but they already announced season 2 is on its way with an additional team. They obviously sold the title rights, which I think will help financially allow at least the USL to operate the league. I don't know about the owners of the individual teams.
Yeah.
But that being said, it was
all steps in the right direction.
I think attendance trended up all season for the most part too.
For sure. Yeah, I think they averaged just south of 4,000, which in the 92,000 seat stadium sounds terrible, but in hindsight, if you're not paying a lease fee, it's actually fantastic.
To be fair, their official capacity is 20.
Yeah, it's 20 on the sections that are open.
Sure. Yeah, isn't that what Seattle does too? They're like, no,
I'm sure they do. Yeah,
like, Seattle does it. Charlotte does it. It's
yeah.
That
said, they backed into the playoffs, so I think we can't really. We can't really be too upset about this result.
You know what's crazy though? Go ahead.
Yeah. My only issue is that you blew the lead, right? You were up 1-0 and then lost 2-1. So
one of them was a penalty. The draw was a penalty.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah.
Well, we can get into that more when we break the game down a little.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But really, before we got into the game, I wanted to point out that the fan vote had whoever wins this game that we just watched winning the whole thing, which I found interesting. I was surprised more votes weren't for Carolina, who went 9 games unbeaten before they lost to Trinity on the last game.
That is. I actually didn't even see that. That's
again, it's a fan vote, so take what you will with that.
Oh,
fans are dumb. We know nothing.
Oh my word! I just watched our goal. What? Never mind. Continue.
Yeah. We will have to get into that.
Yeah. We'll
I also have thoughts, Marcus.
Yeah. What in the world? Okay, continue. My apologies. Go ahead.
The first ever USL Super League playoff goal was scored by none other than Hannah Davidson, who also scored Trinity's first ever goal at the beginning of this season. And I think she only had 3 all season, including these 2. So that's that's a pretty interesting tidbit there. And of course, we talked about this last week, but Allie Thornton locked up the Golden Boot, 13 goals. So we finished the season, I think, in great shape for a new league, new club. Clubs all just starting to find their footing, a league that's starting to find its footing. But let's jump into the actual match. If you haven't seen it yet, it's still available for a replay over on the Peacock, if you will, or the Cock, as we call it colloquially.
I guess I'm doing that now. Yes.
Hannah Davidson header in the 17th minute off the Julia Dorsey assist. This was a pretty goal. This was a very pretty goal, which followed up a beautiful header from Allie Thornton last week. So
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, the cross and header were good. Kind of a trash goal, though. No, their keeper flubbed that real bad.
I don't know if y'all watched ESPN FC with Shaka Hislop. They used to have a segment called Shakastrophic, and that was terrible.
Okay,
I have no idea what the goalkeeper was doing there.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was going to be a goal. I was like, "Oh, that's an easy catch." It didn't.
So yeah, in my opinion, like ball in the right spot, cool. That's great, and that matters. But I think that's a bit of a trash goal on the keeper's placement.
I will say the crossing from Trinity has been incredible all season. This Dorsey cross was great. She almost was it? No, it wasn't. It was Tamara's cross last week for Allie Thornton that gave her the Golden Boot winner.
Well, did you guys watch this whole game?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Well, one of the things that one of the commentators pointed out that I think was spot on, and it contributes to the goal that happened, is Trinity clearly did their scouting on this keeper who likes to kind of dance weird along her line. And so they were playing the crosses into the exact right spot to try to catch her. And I think this goal is a product of that tactic. Again, that being said, crazy she didn't do better to me.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they didn't come away, but you're right. Scouting was incredible, but the crosses from this team all season have been great, right?
Absolutely.
I think this has been a something that they've worked on all season. Is something they got really good at, and has really been a testament to Coach McDonald's expertise here, if you will.
I think we have had the best attacking playmaking in the league. I think we've had the best chance creators. Your Celie Strawn, Lexi when she was here, Mezzo when she was here, Tamara, Chioma, Cameron Lancaster. I just think our front chance creators might have been the best altogether in the league. And so watching that all season was fun.
And then just
doomsday offense.
Yep, doomsday offense. And goals came from everywhere, right? And that's a symptom of good crossing, right? If you got good crosses, if you're in the box, you can finish, and that's what happened pretty often this season. And it was exciting to watch for most of the season too.
Oh yeah, and before you get into the next goal, because of the nature of what the goal was, I want to. I'm sure Marcus, you were watching the highlight package. I don't know if you watched it with audio, but the USL Super League highlight reel cut it in a really funny way where they were they do the kickoff and they kick it around for a second and then it cuts to the next highlight. So they were introducing the referee's name, they always do that, and they said Sean Tahini, and then it cut to a highlight, and the very next line, it made it sound like it was a continuation of the same sentence by the same commentator, said she changes the game when she's on the pitch. And I'm like, yeah, that'll do it. So let's get into the next goal.
Next goal comes in the 36th minute on a foul by Sierra Hinson. Natasha Flint converts the penalty kick.
That's a good call, right?
I don't think it was a good call.
No, there was no entanglement to the legs. That was just
she doesn't touch the ball.
It was soft as shit. Okay, is that what you want me to say? It was soft.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't know.
Soft as baby shit is what it was.
Yeah, it to me that's not in a semifinal. That's not something I call.
That's not something you call. But you know what? We're looking at again and not making excuses here. New league. These are young refs that are coming up in this system too, and hopefully they'll learn. And this was definitely a soft call.
I'm just not going to make an excuse for a defender who knows better than take the legs out in a playoff game.
Sure. And I'm not making excuses, but it was a very, 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 very soft call. Charming.
I mean, I think the refs are still pro refs, so it's fine. They suck everywhere.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not going to make an excuse to the referees because I'm going to do a lot of complaining about this ref in a little while.
Let's do it. Now's your opportunity. The floor is yours.
Let's get past this goal real quick.
Okay.
Well, the penalty wasn't really a penalty. That being said, the third goal was an absolute beaut, and that's chipping the keeper who was in no person's land or no woman's land at this particular point.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I think that goes on Maddie White.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think she caught herself in no man's land, like Marcus said. Yeah. Unfortunate weird to have two kind of keeper at fault goals. Bumps me out.
But that's not the first time that's happened.
Not to take away from that chip though. Fantastic chip.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, to be honest, where she was is where a goalkeeper usually is when you're playing a high line, because you don't want the goalkeeper on their line. And in case there's a ball where there's a 50-50 in between them, you need someone to be able to attack it.
Maddie's a little undersized for a keeper too. Obviously, in this league, there's a lot of undersized players, but Maddie's a little undersized for, generally speaking, for a keeper in women's sports, right? So it's one of those things where maybe if she was 3 inches taller, it wouldn't have made a difference. But
yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of goals like that all season across the league too. Keepers getting caught kind of in a weird spot, and usually a veteran just popping it over them. We saw it plenty of times for us and against us. So yeah, unfortunate.
You've got a lot of teams in this league playing out of the back. So you've got a keeper that's playing way forward so they can play out of the back. And that's what happens, right? If you don't, it's a lesson we've learned here in the DFW area over and over and over again. If you play out of the back, if you don't do it well, you get beat.
Yeah, and Dallas Trinity wanted to play a pretty high-pressing game all year, and as a result, your keeper does end up going forward a bit too. So maybe just a result of that. Bummer to see it happen on what I think a lot of people would consider a pretty humiliating goal.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's never fun to get chipped.
Yeah, it's never how you want to end the season either. But look, I'm gonna try and keep a positive spin on this. I thought this was a well-played game. They split possession 51-49 in favor of Dallas. If you look at all the line, I don't have it open in front of me right now, but if you look at all the line, they were pretty much evenly matched most of the game. It was, relatively equal footing here, and there's a lot of parity across this league, right? These teams are, for the most part, not that far apart. Yeah, the top and the bottom. There's a dramatic difference between the top and the bottom of this table, but it's not that dramatic in the middle, right? From I think 1 through 6 are probably really competitive in this league.
Yeah,
and it shows when teams
add or take away 3 weeks, it could have been a different 4 completely.
Right, absolutely. If this season was 3, yeah, you're right. If the season was 3 weeks shorter or 3 weeks longer,
it could have been anyone except Lexington.
Fair.
Yeah. No, he's right.
I said the top 6. Okay, I was trying to be polite.
He did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that we really missed Sealy Strawn this game.
Yeah,
I really like. You play with the team you got and you do whatever. I'm sick of rooting for teams that get trashed by call-ups. It's happened so much for FC Dallas.
It's so weird that
I really do think the Strawn one really affected us. As soon as they pulled off Chioma Obagagu and Tamara and didn't have anybody like Strawn to put in, that's when I felt like we were done. They were going to keep trying, but when you take off those 2 playmakers at that time and you don't really have a good backup to put in, normally you would have relied on Sealy.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're losing players in the playoffs to international call-ups, and I don't want to call it meaningless because it's very important, especially for somebody as young as Sealy Strawn to get.
Yeah, it matters to her.
Early caps, and there's a U19 team, right? Is that
I can't even remember for sure.
I don't know if it was the U19 or U18 team that she plays for. Eluding me right now, but it's important for some, especially somebody as young as Strong, to get her international caps and take advantage of every one of those call-ups. Because you don't know where she's going to be next year, right? We don't know what this league is going to look like next year. We don't know what this club is going to look like next year. So she's got to, at the end of the day, she's got to do what's best for her career. But it's an awkward position to be in as a supporter and as a fan. Obviously, you want to root for a player in their international call-up, but you'd much rather have them home playing in a playoff game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I think that there's also a problem in that you are relying on a U19 player to be your
this whole league is young though. This league is
no. We have a 17-year-old playing for Spain. We don't need to use it as an excuse. Okay, relax.
Yeah. You have a 17-year-old who's being argued as the best player in the world right now, and then you have Sealy Strong.
I mean, he lost
Strong's
to
a monster, but
he lost to Messi and Ronaldo. So the best under 20, apparently. But no, I agree with you. So here's the thing.
It is the U18 team, by the way. I looked it up.
Good. Here's the thing. So the problem, especially in North America, is even though the Super League runs fall, spring, somehow we still play through international windows.
Crazy, especially for playoffs.
Right. That's the thing where I don't understand. It's like you could have took the week off and right. I can understand if this was going to be on regular linear TV, you're like, well, we'll just fill the window. If
I didn't thought of it that way. Yeah.
You could have scheduled this whenever you want to. It's not like you have to take momentum into the final, right?
So dates and times weren't officially announced until I think Monday after or Sunday after the last matches of the season. They didn't announce where they were because we didn't know where they were going to be until the season, until decision day completely wrapped up. But they didn't even officially announce this was like some like Serie A stuff where it's like, we'll let you know we'll let you know on Monday where the games are on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I might be able to give you a small amount of insight on why they had him so quick. I have been informed that the new season starts in a couple of months. We all know that.
Yeah.
But the players are only getting like 2 weeks off as it is.
That's a shame.
So I'm assuming it's got
camp
something to
starts?
do with that. Yeah.
Camp starts, right?
Yeah. And we can get into that conversation a little bit about what to expect for next season. Let's finish up what we have to say about this game, I guess, first. I really want to complain about this referee.
Go for it.
Okay.
Now's your opportunity.
Maybe I'm being a homer here. I don't know. I felt like it was crazy that it took so long to get a first yellow in this game. And I think it's pretty insane that Tampa didn't eventually see a red. I am also furious at how much time Tampa was allowed to waste. This referee had no discipline on these players. Nobody cared about what she had to say. She had no control. And the players knew what they were doing to get little chippy fouls in that would be carded by other referees. And they were allowed to waste a solid minute and a half to 2 minutes of the stoppage time during stoppage time. And just Tampa pisses me off. I mean, fuck Tampa Bay. Every time we played them, they were bitching on the ground, rolling around, grabbing their legs. I know that's soccer, but man, it just felt like
that's
Tampa
CONCACAF,
was
baby.
the king of doing it.
Wait.
And
Is the Mexico national team fan complaining about time wasting? I'm confused here.
It
shots
is so
fired.
cute
Shots
how you guys
fired.
think your teams don't do that because we
Shots
do it.
No. See, we don't because Jamaica's
I
team
can't.
is
You're
basically-
not a U.S. fan. You're a Jamaican fan. My bad.
Yeah, Jamaica team is just the unwanted English players, and they are gentlemen, so they stand up.
All I know is every World Cup winning team dives as much or is more than Mexico. So
and somehow y'all can't win.
That's where I'm going to go.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Hey, no, that's fine. I've accepted this. But to let Tampa Bay do this every single time we've played them is insane. And I do believe if you ask any supporter that's been to every Trinity game, Tampa Bay's our rival, man. This is the most heated game that the league has been Dallas versus Tampa Bay. It's been really cool. Yeah. Weird that's the one. But it's been
Florida Texas rivalry going.
Let's not MLS the Super League now. There are 3 Florida teams. I'm going to assume that they're rivals with each other.
Well, there's about to be 3 Florida.
Oh,
teams.
hang on. What you're doing is more MLS than what I'm doing. Because MLS is so close. You're rivals. Kiss.
That's fair. I mean, they're not. At least it's not as bad as the NFL, where the Cowboys and the Giants are rivals.
Yeah,
for some
right.
reason. Like, what the hell?
Well, they were in the same division for some reason. The Cowboys were in the NFC
Yeah, right.
East for
Yeah.
decades, which made no sense
Well, no,
whatsoever.
they still are. So Jerry Jones wanted New York TV,
But so was
That's
Arizona,
why-
right?
No.
The Arizona Cardinals were also in that division for a decade at some point.
I mean, they're in
Well, yeah,
Seattle's
fair.
now, so that's not any better.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
make
what-
any sense.
But
Yeah. All that to say, though, is there's
Yeah.
the makings of what, if they keep being chippy over the next season or two,
Yeah.
can hopefully become an actual rivalry.
No, to be honest, I'm just I agree. Like Tampa Bay, especially they look like favorites at home. Speaking of that, I'm on the website. Tickets are still available for relatively cheap for a soccer final. So if anybody's in the market to go to that game, there's
The
still
game's in
tickets
Tampa,
there.
then, right?
Yes,
Would have been in Dallas if we had won. Lauderdale took out Carolina.
Yeah, that was fair enough. That would have been nice. I wanted to see how much we could have crammed in the Cotton Bowl.
I
But
think
yeah,
they
no,
might have
I
gotten 8 or 10 in there if they had marketed it right.
yeah, I think the city would have been behind them, and by that I mean the government, the city of Dallas,
Right.
would definitely be promoting that bad boy. Yeah, to be honest, man, I'm just happy the season went well. I think everyone was a little worried. I personally think they should have waited until this upcoming season to start this league and see if they could hit 12 teams. But
Build that hype too.
I think, yeah,
With the World
especially
Cup?
with the World Cup coming. Yeah. I get it. This was like a test run. Also, I'm hoping that all the people who are like, oh, we can't play soccer fall spring, are like, well, we did it and somehow managed. Now that
Great
being
little
said,
winter break.
we only had one northern team, and that's New York, right? Is that the most northern team?
New York doesn't have a team.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, that's right. Brooklyn did. That's right. Brooklyn did have a team. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think Brooklyn would be the furthest north.
Yeah.
So clearly, they just took a 3-week winter break, like they do in Germany. So I think this is a test run to say that you can, if you want to, if all the teams have their own venues that they control, you can definitely do a fall spring calendar.
Well, you say that Brooklyn actually didn't control their own venue for half the season because they had to play it. They had to play at a different look. They played their first 4 games, I think, outside of Brooklyn. They played them in Manhattan because the field was so bad in Brooklyn that they couldn't use it.
Man, Brooklyn had a weird year, didn't they?
Yeah, that's why I said if
poor Brooklyn.
And they're gonna have 2 teams in that stadium because the Brooklyn team is gonna get a men's team in the championship next year.
Oh, really?
I thought they were Nets there because nobody goes to Barclays.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Kobe.
But I guess before we hang up the boots on this game specifically, I just want to talk about Amber Brooks did not stop once in that game. And towards the last third of the game, when the team seemed like they were giving up a little bit or like they were a step slower than Tampa to every ball at the end there, Brooks was on every single ball, fighting for all of them, taking people out, getting taken out, even putting that weird little chip in that was surprisingly on goal. Brooks is a warrior, and holy cow.
I'm already the president of the Amber Brooks fan club, right? So you're preaching to the choir here.
I just think she deserves a shout out. Even in this game, man, she did not quit. I think at one point she was at our goal line, and then 10 seconds later, somehow she's at the top of their 18, winning the ball.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by the Brooks enterprise, if you will, this season in the midfield.
It's insane stuff. I'm proud of her. Love that she's on this team.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Like I said, I have high hopes for this league. I have high hopes for between this league, the new second division. I think women's soccer is on the upward trajectory leading into 2030, right? Is that when we host? Yeah, so I think by 2030, I think it's 2030 because it's usually no. 26.
That's something we can look up right now.
Plus, there's basically soccer in this country is growing because we're going to have the men's World Cup, the Olympics, and then the women's World Cup all on American soil.
It's 2031.
Yeah, hopefully we feed off that and it keeps developing. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. And it's good for the region. So,
for sure.
That's the 2031 FIFA World Cup, the Women's World Cup. That'll be here.
What's
exciting? Where are they playing in 29? Where's that? Okay, I'm very confused. I'm just like, wait, am I off schedule? Wait, when was the last Women's World Cup? wouldn't it? If it's in 31, then 27, right? Who's hosting 27? If we can look that up right quick.
27. Well, that's Brazil.
Okay, fair
Brazil,
enough. Right.
US, and then it's UEFA has it, but I don't know if I think it's going to be. I think it's England. I'm not sure. There's the following one.
The Lions, the Lionesses are going to bring it home for them. You know.
Well, I've got one more thing to say
the
about
men
this
sure as
game.
hell aren't bringing it home for them. So
fair enough.
I got one more thing to say about this game, and I'll drop it.
Okay.
During the game, they showed the Tampa Bay supporters section, which, by the way, cool that they have like a series of drummers and everything. Really cool, and to see all the flags and stuff, it was really cool. Somebody was holding up the classic SpongeBob meme that's the "What are you?" and then or "What am I?" and SpongeBob's in the shape of Texas, and Patrick says, "I don't know, stupid." And SpongeBob says, "No, I'm Texas," and he says, "What's the difference?" Which is a hilarious thing. The entire Texas episode is great.
all right. So let's get together and start figuring out some anti-Tampa typos for next year.
What I was going to say is I was going to try to find a Tampa meme, but your city doesn't fucking matter enough for there to be a good meme against you. So we're on SpongeBob and you're not. Get the fuck over it, you son bitches.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay
so relevant they have to team up with St. Pete to be relevant. So it's fine.
Tampa Bay is so relevant. Their baseball team plays in a stadium that has the Yankees logo all over it.
Also, disclaimer: no actual hate to Tampa Bay. I'm just really sore about losing.
I
love the Rowdies, and I'm going to say that.
That said, they have more Super Bowls than we have in the last 30 years. I'm pretty sure they have a World Series. So
scoreboard, baby, scoreboard.
Yeah, there we go. Knock them up. I think they have more than the Yankees in the last decade or so. But anyways, we're gonna move on beyond that.
That was low. That was low.
That's bait. That's bait.
I'm not falling for
it. We can wrap up the Trinity talk. The fall season starts in August. Unless do we have something else?
Oh, I think it's
I was just gonna say, anybody got
there's
any
friendlies?
Yeah, there's going to be an international friendly over the break. That'll be, or it'll be in season. It'll be during the fair, during the Texas State Fair. So it'll be.
They're trying pretty hard to make that the biggest attendance for a women's game at the Cotton Bowl ever. They're trying to pack in 20,000 or more for that game.
It's definitely doable. I mean, you can pair it with Fair Park tickets, and
I think they're going to be throwing tickets to anyone who will take one. Is the idea, especially during State Fair.
Yeah.
Question is who they're going to be playing.
They got to go. I'm telling you, the Club America team. Like you got.
It's going to be one
of. Wait, didn't they say that we were playing a European? Aren't we playing Barcelona again?
That's not going to be enough. That's not.
I thought they said Barcelona. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter right now.
It has not been announced. It is from what I'm hearing. It sounds like it might be one of the because I think Liga MX just got 2 new teams. Is that correct? Am I wrong?
I don't remember.
I think they just got 2 new women's teams, so I believe I would expect to see one of those teams come up here. I would expect to see because you know what happens when you bring a Liga MX team up here, especially a big name, right?
It depends on the name.
It's got to be. It's 2. It's 3, right? So it's got to be America,
Tigres,
and
Chivas.
Azul.
Chivas. There you go. Yeah,
I would say those 4 are probably the big ones here.
Yeah, anybody else? Because we brought Juarez up here. They don't really.
They traveled better than I expected, especially to Austin for the League's Cup.
You brought like 7 Juarez fans to a
it was like game too, you by yourself was like So.
But no. I think those 4 teams are the ones you'd want to play for that. That's for sure.
I mean, if you're really serious, because I've been saying this forever that FC Dallas should do the exact same thing, a game every year during the State Fair, either Austin or Houston, every year,
or
be on cycle.
Or Tigres and bring back the cup.
Oh, the Tigres game used to be freaking fun.
Right. Why not do that at the Cotton Bowl?
It would be fun to play a rival there, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want it to be like an international friendly because that's too gimmicky. I want it to be one of our regular season games.
An actual season game,
a
game that mattered.
Scheduled. Like even if you schedule it the week before the State Fair, so like when they're doing all the testing stuff and putting stuff up, just have everybody come in and do that. But anyways, either way, season starts August we're playing Spokane on the 23rd of August.
Oh, Spokane's probably your northernmost team, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, we had 2 referring back referring back to the wind. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that weather can be avoided, especially if you have enough teams south. You can just do long road trips to negate a lot.
It's absolutely doable, and there's no reason it can't happen. But before we move on from this one, you were at the watch party at our good friends over at Community Beer at the tap room. How was that event? I unfortunately had another commitment that I couldn't get out of, but it seemed like it was pretty cool. It seemed like it was very well attended.
Yeah, Trinity and Community had almost 200 people FVP for the watch party, which we were chatting about before people started showing up, thinking, maybe a small fraction of that show up. No, a huge number showed up. We packed out the entire side that we were on, which is, the side opposite of where all the taps are, the bar itself.
Mm-hmm.
We filled that entire area up with people. They even brought out extra tables. So there was 2 rows of long tables running across that entire room, and then all the normal tables completely packed out. People were standing and watching the game. There was 3 or 4 TVs on. And then on the other side where the bar is, that area was full. And I don't know, I'd say at least half of them were wearing Trinity gear, which was pretty crazy.
Pretty awesome.
I mean, I've
the
done
whole
dumber thing.
the
I've done
whole
dumber
brewery,
things for free beer, right?
Yeah, the whole brewery chanted when we chanted, and we got
Nice.
some chants going here and there just for fun. People left in good spirits, even though they're angry the whole time. I don't know. It was a great turnout. Hopefully they can carry over that hype. Dallas loves a playoff team that goes into and loses in the first round. So, right up there with the rest of the Dallas teams. So I don't know. I've got nothing negative to say about it.
I'm not sure that the rest of the Dallas teams make it to the playoff, but I get your point.
I suppose when they do make it.
Community's our sponsor, so you're not allowed to say anything bad. We'd have to edit it out anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But it was a good time. Some Guardians showed up, which was really nice. We did a decent job of getting some little chants started here and there. Even had some people coming up and going, "Hey, how do you guys feel about doing a 'Let him die' chant or 'Let her die'?"
Love it.
We're like, let's go then. They did some giveaways. They gave away a signed ball, signed by the team, which was pretty cool. Only downside is boots didn't come, which was weird. There was no boots there.
No boots?
Well,
that was weird, right?
Play with no boots.
They did give away 2 boots bobbleheads that they held on to, though.
Nice. I've got mine.
But everybody, if you had Trinity gear on, your first beer was free. And then they gave away tickets if you filled out a survey for the team. So you could have gotten 2 free beers. And then they gave away these tickets to regular attendees of games. I don't know how they decided that. And they put you into a raffle thing. You either won a ball or a boots bobblehead. It was pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah, I think I might commit to a full season this year. Obviously, I'm not able to get to every game because counteracts with Frisco and life. But I'm gonna try my best to get to as many as I can in this upcoming season because it was exciting. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't been out to a game, get out to one. It's incredibly affordable. I think the season package for supporters starts at like what, $350?
I can't even tell you off the top of my head.
I have $300.
I'm on the website right now. It's $300 for the season tickets.
That's an incredible deal, right? You're getting an entire season for $300, and it's a great deal. And if you don't want to pay stadium beer prices, come hang out with us outside. Get a couple free ones before you head in. Crack a couple cold ones with us. Hang out outside with supporters. Come in, get rowdy with us, make some noise, and $300. It's your entire winter. All of your winter weekends are pretty much covered. So there you go.
Look, I think their game plan is to expand season ticket membership benefits at some point because there weren't that many this year. I think you had a couple of meat kind of things.
Can eat. Just saying, it works great.
But yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully they change some of those benefits because that's been my biggest thing. I saw no benefit for me to be a season ticket member versus just buying my ticket every week.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to support the club and be able to buy the whole season package, but the reality is look, we have conflicts, right? So, it is what it is, right? But any final thoughts wrapping up this Trinity season or looking forward to next?
Yeah, I have some concerns going into next season. As I said earlier about how the players are really only get a couple of weeks off before they have to report back for camp. We just had one of the most injury-riddled leagues I've ever seen. The whole league. It wasn't just Dallas. It was everyone. And a lot of people are guessing that the main reason for that is because a lot of these players have never played this kind of season back-to-back before, and they've never played this many games in a row before. A lot of them are out of college or they played at much shorter seasons. and that they think that it contributed to all the injury mess. I'm concerned.
Well, the majority of the injuries came on the back half of the season, right? I mean, not to say that there wasn't a lot on the front, but it feels the majority of them, the more severe ones, came on the back half of the season.
I will say that I don't have the information in front of me, but I feel like I started seeing them as the spring season started is when I started seeing them. So you tell me what's going on there. I don't know. But all that to say is I'm concerned that these players only have 2 months off before their first game, from what I understand. But moreover, they only have a couple of weeks to like recover before going back to training. That concerns me. And I think even more of like players like Lexi, who are going to be out most of the next season. Well, at least, maybe half to 3/4 of it, right?
Yeah, we might see her around
I'm
Christmas
concerned
time.
about the injuries. I don't know that they've done anything to curtail that. And adding a big international game that they're going to push the hell out of in the middle of your season pisses me off. Well, I understand the appeal, but I hate mid-season friendlies.
I will say this, and I agree with you in general principle on that, but I will say this. If you watch the Barca friendly last year, they completely emptied the tanks, emptied the benches, and those benches included like something like a dozen academy players, right? So we're not talking about just
and I didn't watch it, so fair enough.
Yeah, I was there. So they absolutely emptied the tanks, and those tanks consisted of a lot of academy players, and this was really like some 17, 18, 19-year-olds get out there and play against the best in the world and just give it your all.
Oh.
So
cool. I didn't watch it. I don't know. I'm still concerned about it, but my main concern is not even that individual game. My concern is, holy cow, no downtime on such an injury-laden league.
Definitely concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this, hopefully she is back before the back end of the season next year. Hopefully she makes it back sometime in the fall or on the fall schedule. But I am really excited to see a full strength Lexi Misimo paired up with an Amber Brooks midfield. I think that
throw in Cameron Lancaster on that, man. Holy cow.
This is going to be
this team,
dangerous
the team
midfield.
proved that they could do it without Lexi, but the team was built this spring to be around Lexi, so it'd be nice when we finally get that back. But I don't know, this team can do it. Our weakness was never the midfielder front, right? It was defense and defensive injuries.
Yep. But I also think that you can move Amber back. You can move Brooks back a little bit more to a true six and let her play a little bit more defensively. When you've got somebody like Misimo and you've got Lancaster up front, you've got more attacking forwards or attacking midfielders to get forward, and you can really let Amber go back there and just dominate that sixth position and just really own that section of the field.
Yeah, if Trinity hold on to the right players, we're definitely set for another good season. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with everything they say. Although I will side note, I will say about the short summer break is that they get a full month from the schedule, and they also get a full month in the winter. So you do get another break.
But it's like year-round schooling versus summer vacation.
They're back in camp in like 2 weeks, though. Like,
wait, the season starts the end of August, and they're back in camp at the end.
I'm just
July,
quoting
right?
what a team.
Sure, they're probably back in camp mid-July, probably after middle of July. It's probably like 4. It's probably like 4 weeks off total.
I'm quoting someone who worked for the front office. That's all I'll say.
Well, if you consider next weekend being the end of the season, technically, right? Yeah. You've got the final. The season ends next weekend. You figure it's 4 to 5 weeks before they're back in camp. But even at that, that's 4 to 5 weeks back in camp. It really is probably 2 weeks completely off before they have to come in and do paperwork and whatever else.
Yeah.
I guess let's be realistic too. No coach is going to run your rag in the middle of July, I guess. Just
from
a break. So hopefully it'll be good. Like, I'm sure the coach knows how to manage load. I mean, McDonald's a good coach. She knows what she's doing. Yeah. I'll trust in that. I'm worried about injuries again already.
Yeah. That being said, we sound pessimistic, but get your tickets, get your season tickets, get ready. I will note that
bring your instruments.
They have a whole Florida run in September. They play Jacksonville on the 6th, Fort Lauderdale on the 13th, and then Tampa Bay on the 20th. So they got
crazy
the Florida
to have
run.
3 Florida teams.
They're going to spend the month of September in Florida. So they'll be.
I would not be surprised if that's how the league is going to be designed. That a lot of teams are going to be going to do a Florida road trip, just financially incentive alone, right? Because if you're going to be there, and Tampa and Jacksonville aren't that far from each other, and Fort Lauderdale is it's on the other side of the state. But even for like Tampa and Jacksonville, you could probably find a college somewhere in the middle that's going to let you set up and camp there for a week, rather than having to travel back and forth and save a couple bucks on travel. This is a new league. There are expenses to be concerned about, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll have to think of a name for that though when teams fly down to Florida for that stretch, like the Snowbird Run or something.
The Snowbird Bowl.
We'll come up with something like that. There's got to be something fun to do with that.
And doing it correctly in December and January, it's all Southern teams, so they play at home all of December and January. So that's how you do it. You travel when it's warm, and when it gets cold, you stay home because you're one of the most Southern teams. So
it's not hard to figure this out.
Yeah, I am looking forward to this. Get your season tickets, get your merch. I'm sure there'll be sales to clear out, 24, 25 merch. So it was a great season, and we look forward to more. We also look forward to maybe in 2027, they'll have a stadium mate, but that's a discussion for another day. To be honest, if I'm them, I see if I can make it work for next year, but whatever, that's besides the point. But yeah, no, it's been a great season, and it's been kind of hectic trying to get to both these games. Based on my schedule,
it's hard.
I can only make it to Saturday games, so I think I made it to 3 games this year. So that was
I mean your work schedule on top of everything, just
yeah. So
I would love for this league to go Sundays, and let's do Saturdays in Frisco, Sundays in the Cotton Bowl. That's my opinion.
Ooh, I'd have to slow down at both.
Yeah,
this is the first time I followed a women's team, and God, it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was incredible.
So basically on the website they say they host 9 Saturday games, 3 Sunday games, and 1 Tuesday and 1 Wednesday game. So that's basically the schedule. So it's going to be
that bodes well for us.
Yeah, pretty much. So we can make it work.
Yeah. Well, we're ready to move on to FC Dallas here. Where are we at?
Yeah, let's any beer or coffee you guys want to talk about in the interim here?
Yeah,
we'll just do a quick shout out. I got this time. Let me see. Stupid glare on it. A little Japanese soda, non-alcoholic today. So
I'm not drinking it right now, but Community released a couple of Mexican beers, and most of the Mexican beers just end up being really boring pilsners or lagers. They did something a little different. They put maize in theirs, which gives it kind of a different texture and taste to it. So they've got one. I don't remember what the main one's called, but the other one's called the Bad Hombre. And it's like a malted maize Mexican beer, and pretty damn good. If you get out to the tap room,
I've never had to put my pinky in the air for a Mexican beer before. But
that was pretty good. Get out there and try Bad Hombre, and I don't remember the other one, but you'll see it.
Yeah,
I do want to give a quick shout out to no affiliation to us whatsoever, but I had a great experience, and it was a great freaking cup of coffee. Dark Ritual Coffee over in Fate, Texas. They have a little shop in. They're working on a bigger facility right now, but their shop is inside a Mexican restaurant. They're a Mexican restaurant in the afternoon, coffee shop in the morning, but excellent coffee. So if you're over in Fate, check out Dark Ritual, and if you're from Dark Ritual, let us know if you want to sponsor us.
I'm pretty sure I've been there.
Nice. All right, FC Dallas. We talked about this a little bit last week, but the boys are headed up to Kansas City to Children's Mercy Park. Have mercy on us.
Yeesh. Yeah, I don't know. I think this game's there for the taking myself, but at the same time, we don't tend to thrive in Kansas City.
I mean, Kansas City sucks this year, so we can. Make
they are behind us.
You're right.
The table.
You're right. I think that with our road form being what it is, it's hard to discount any away game at this point. But I think I have no faith in this team, even if they're playing the worst team away right now. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't have a lot of depth thoughts. Do we get our international players back for that game yet?
They should, yeah. They should be back.
Right, who did we lose? We lost Poss and who?
That was
Poss.
Well, senior members. I think didn't Norris go?
Norris got called up for the U20, and somebody else got called up for U19. Show got called up for Angola, but did not make bench, did not make the starting 11, didn't make the bench either. And the club also did not promote. It's the only call-up that the club did not promote. So safe to say that I believe Show's loan will probably not be, his option will probably not be picked up. And I think we may have seen the last of Show in Frisco.
Okay. So we'll be missing Nolan and Paz, maybe? Or do you think they'll be back?
No, they should be back because the window's closed. The window's done. So.
Oh, okay. I wasn't really totally sure. I thought there was enough. Well, they were doing qualifiers. Paz was doing a qualifier, right? So that's that window.
Yeah.
And Nolan was U20 or U20.
Yeah, Nolan got called up for the U20 team.
Okay, yeah, so you're probably right. Okay, so we might not be missing one. I would hate to be missing a defender whenever we still haven't heard
Diego
anything
Garcia, I
about
believe, was also called up. Yep. So we had 4 call-ups. It was Show for Angola, Diego Garcia for the U19s, Nolan Norris for the US U20s, and then Martin Paz for Indonesia. That's the 4.
Okay.
So I would
so we
expect them
still
to all be
haven't
back.
heard anything
Except
about
for
the
Show.
Urguide injury, right? They haven't said anything yet, which is always great news for us as Dallas fans when they're mom on an injury.
Yeah, we'll find out on Thursday probably.
Yeah, we probably won't know until later this week. From what I'm hearing around the rumor mill, it is a hamstring injury. He's probably going to miss at least a month.
I think the rumors I keep hearing are along the lines of, like hamstring, but not like brutal.
Just not like brutal, but enough to miss at least 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
Takes which is interesting because Abubakar is going to be suspended for this game.
Yeah, MLS all-star potential Lalas Abubakar, apparently.
Lalas Abubakar was apparently leading the center back position in all-star voting, which shows that some of you are just clicking buttons in alphabetical order.
I don't understand. Anyway, I don't know.
Votes being botted? That's crazy.
It's amazing how and I love Martin Paz, right? I know you guys rag on me this, but it's amazing how Paz has so many all-star votes. It's incredible.
Hey,
I wonder where they're coming from.
I love it.
Wonder where they're coming from.
Yeah, I think that you're just going to see an outside back shifted into the middle, or you're going to see.
Do you go 3 at the back?
Alvaro? Maybe.
Alvaro did not. He did not even
look good for North Texas.
Yeah, I was going to say he did not look great playing for North Texas, and there was a game where he didn't even rate the bench, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too confident of that. I think at this point you're probably just going to slip someone like a Marco or a Nolan in the middle.
Do you go 3 at the back, put Ibby in the middle, and then run your 2 outside backs as your outside center backs? Just go 3 at the back with Shaq, Farfan, and Ibby in the middle.
That's a disaster. That's a blowout right there. That's 3-0 minimum.
Would it surprise you?
I think the real solution is to build a proper team, but let's get past that. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're just going to see somebody shift in the middle. I think the vibes are still that they're going to go with the 4 at the back, but we'll see what happens. That's purely a guess. Good news, though. I think we should have Leggett back for this game at full strength.
Yeah. Well,
he made the bench last game. He just didn't play.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. So Leggett should be
that
back.
means he's probably ready at this point.
And we don't know what's going on with Paxton after that knee bruise. Ideally, he's back, but again, this club talks nothing until 3 days before the game. And I understand there's a little gamesmanship, but you don't want the opposition to really get a leg up on what your 11 are going to look like. But let's call it what it is, right? Paxton came out again, right? So what is it, right? I mean, it was a knee bruise, they're saying. What does that mean?
Knee bruise is tough because I think we talked about this last week. Knee bruise have such a crazy range and severity. Like it could be I'm out for a week or 2. It could be it's going to take me a month or so. Like
right. And with a guy like Pax,
no information,
who's had so many leg injuries and so many knee related injuries over the past couple of years, I love the guy. I want to see him succeed, but are we too far gone? And if he doesn't come back from this, what else is there, right? If he doesn't make it back in the next couple of weeks, what else is there?
I think we'll figure this out by the end of the season, but I think they buy out. He's going to be the buyout.
Was it? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying he'll be the buyout, and they'll hire him to pay out the remainder or whatever the balance is, right? He'll
give him an academy job or a front office job somewhere.
Yeah, he'll do something. He'll be Kenny Cooper, Michelle type thing, right? We'll give you something to do, right?
Oh, and he loves it too, right? He's in the stands with us at away games, right? Like he loves doing it.
I will say every time he gets injured, I see a little bit of death in his eyes, like he knows that it's over. Right?
It's got to suck, man. It's just got, like, from a human being perspective, it's just got to suck for, a guy who's poured his whole career, and a guy whose career started here in Dallas when it was like this was the next stepping stone before Europe, right?
Yeah, like think about the guys who he came out with, right? Cannon got his shot overseas, didn't really work out because the team was going broke. Then we have Pepe, who first spot didn't work out, but now he's doing well. Chris Richardson, right? You have Jesus. Like, think about the ilk. His 4-year run.
Reynolds, yeah, there's a lot of them.
And then it's him, right? He's the only. I mean, Kellen also got stuck here, but that's besides the point. But
Kellen's still doing his thing, and he's had. I don't think he's had an unsuccessful career.
Kellen's has had an incredible MLS career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're putting 7 past DC, so that's beautiful.
But I do think that was the
with a baby on the field
for a while, like a life for MLS player that would probably be a great one, right? Like,
yeah, like to be honest, we thought Paxton was gonna do the more peppy Reggie Cannon. Instead, he's gonna end up with a Victor Ulloa, which Victor Ulloa, absolute legend. But we know he was a journeyman, right? We knew he was gonna always be here, but he ended up playing with Messi. So as far as his career is concerned, he's an absolute legend, right? It's just. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, Marcus. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go good.
I always thought that Paxton would be an MLS lifer, but high end. That's what I always thought.
Yeah.
To see him have to deal with the dumb injuries and stuff has been very frustrating because we all like him and we all like the family. He's a high spirits dude, and I hope he doesn't lose that. I think if the bone bruise thing is more than just he's out for a few weeks with a bone bruise and not something that's a older injury, like it keeps happening, I think you'll see that buyout exercise. And I think someone like Peter Welpton might have even pitched this year. Like, why don't you use your buyout on Paxton and offer him a smaller contract even? Like, I don't know. Like, if he's slightly injury prone, but not brutally injury prone, I'm not mad about him on a much lower contract, but it's that $1 million, right?
It's short. It's short. It's like base is like 750 and change. It escalates every year. So the more you keep him, the more it costs you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's one of those.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's a bummer to see Paxton and Zeus both just kind of Peter.
I mean, to be honest, Zeus was because they didn't want to let him go. Zeus, after Zeus had that record,
totally agree. Yep, totally agree.
And go. But I think FC Dallas got caught in two minds. You remember that one year they sold everybody that was a kid?
Yeah. We sold like 3 right backs in one offseason. That was so weird.
Yeah. We sold anyone who was worth anything, you're like, you're good to go. And
bye, Reggie. Bye, Brian. But
yeah. But when Zeus wanted to go, they're like, no, we got to get 20 million.
No.
It's like, wait, that didn't make any sense to me.
And all of a sudden the storyline is no, he wants to be more successful than his dad was here first.
Yeah, but he already did that. He bashed his dad. He tied the FC Dallas record. Like, he's done everything he could do, and then he wanted to leave, and we were like,
I'm assuming most of that marketing about the wanting to be an MLS MVP. Yeah, of course you want to be, but it seems like that.
I want to be an MLS MVP too.
We screwed Zeus as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Walker, so Zimmerman, Zeus, and Kellen, I think were all missteps. Because how did was it who's my guy who went to Italy? The kid
Brian Reynolds?
No,
Tessman.
So we sold Tessman. He was here for like 6 months. Oh, he's not with the Italian team anymore. They sold him?
Tanner Tessman? No, he went for Lyon.
Yeah, he got moved recently.
Oh, okay. I thought he was still with the yo-yo team because
it just happened. Down. Like it just happened recently.
Yeah. So, but that's what I mean. It's like, how did?
I mean, in terms of windows
over the summer break. Got you.
Yeah.
That being said, all things being equal, I think Kansas City is there to be gotten. I think we I don't know. Pax needs to do something. As far as center backs go, we knew we were going to run into this issue, right? We only had 3. Well, we have 4.
We've only been yelling about it all season.
Yeah, we do have 4 center backs. One of them is a kid who is untested.
Not looking good either, by the way.
And then the other 2 are 30-plus-year-old journeymans at this point. So I hate 3 in the back, but if there's ever a game to do it, it's probably this.
Yeah. Well, don't you need 3 center backs to play 3 at the back?
No, you just need one center back and a left and right back to play.
I mean, to run it right, yes.
Hey, far fan in the middle. What's the problem, guys? It doesn't matter who's on his spot.
Nolan Norris in the middle, all 5'6" of them.
Yeah. So,
God.
it'll be nice to have the boys back.
I love playing Kansas City, so let's go.
Fair enough. Like I said, they don't have Johnny Russell anymore, so they're there for the taking. So it's all good.
As long as we out Malawi, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing everybody at Community to show out, so we can show some numbers too. We will be doing a giveaway. I've decided that we're going to give away a signed jersey in a frame because we can't seem to sell them. So, wait, did anyone win your thing from last?
Nope.
Dennis? No?
Nope.
All right. So
wait,
at the end of
we haven't had a tailgate since then. So
fair enough. So we're going to do one at the end of this. Well, you remember last episode, he said some numbers, and if someone said it.
Oh, that's right.
I wasn't in Frisco this week. I wasn't in Frisco for the last tailgate, so nobody came up and to mention it to you. They definitely didn't come up to me.
I'm gonna text you as soon as we're done with this call.
Why? What happened? Did somebody
come
up
to get the money?
Oh my God! Whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna say a number right before the break or right before the end of this episode, and if you see any three of us at Community this weekend, you get a free signed jersey. I'll figure out what that number is later, but yeah,
it'll flash on screen. It'll be right here, right? You're gonna see it right here. There you go.
Sure, let's go with that.
That's where you.
Unreal, guys. Right. I might go to this game. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, you're gonna have KC
road trip.
Well, my wife had said that if Trinity won and they were going to play in Carolina, she would let me go to Carolina. And obviously that's not happening. So the budget's there. I could just make it to the city.
I do know several members of El Matador heading
and that's part of the reason. Like, I know there's a big group going. Might as well meet up with them. And we're in good with
from Third Degrees heading up. She's got friends and family up there. A lot of our usual folks that we see at matches all the time will be up there.
By the way, go watch a game with Steph. She's incredible.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but the entire Trinity game.
Matador's got I think they got somebody rented a van or something that they're all they're carpooling up together. So there's ways to get up there if you're looking to go. Tickets are dirt cheap. I do think the ticketing link may be closed now, the official ticketing link, but if you're looking for tickets, reach out to us. We've got people, we've got ways and means, but we'll at the very least, we'll let you know where the supporters are sitting, or where the away supporters are sitting, so you can come and hang out with whoever's going to be up there from our groups or from the other groups that are up there. Definitely going to be a cool experience if you're heading up.
Yeah. Come hang out with us in the self-proclaimed heart of American soccer.
Sure. Across from Arrowhead Stadium.
Hey, I said self-proclaimed.
So here's the thing. So to get a free signed jersey of the three that we have, you have to tell me the first game Dallas Burn played, the date.
Okay,
there you go. So the date of the
Trivia's a good move.
Dallas Burn / FC Dallas game, and you will
go
get
find
a free
Marcus.
signed. There you go. Any all three of us, they'll remember. I will be there at Community, but any of these, all we want to know is the very first game played by Dallas Burn and the date, and you get a free signed jersey. So I'm going to cut this part, put it as a promo at the beginning of the video, and then you can watch the rest of it. There you go.
No. Yeah, you need to edit it, put it at the beginning, but mute the part where you ask the question, so they have to go to the end to see the question.
See, that's production right there. That is production value.
I probably know the least about that, so maybe don't listen to me.
All right, final thoughts before we wrap it up here. I'll just say we are at Dallas Guardians on social media. You can find us on X. You can find us on Discord. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Reels, Twitch. I don't know. Are we on Twitch? I don't know. You can find us, right? At Dallas Guardians. We're everywhere. Check out our website, DallasBeerGuardians.com. Go buy some merch. Marcus, any last thoughts for you?
No, that's it. Just like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all at Community on the 14th. I think it's a 7:30 kick. And yeah, free beer at the next tailgate. Because our budget's not really built for free beer at Community, unfortunately.
But it's 10% off, so there's that.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna close us out with a quote from our from Travis Helwig. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Travis Helwig, but he is the host of the one of the hosts of the Happy Foot Sad Foot podcast, an LAFC podcast. And I'm going to take us out quoting Mr. Helwig here. Fuck Ice and Alexi Lawless can suck my asshole.